Joining us now, Tom Fitton. He's the president of Judicial Watch, and I want to begin with the former vice president, who has been gleefully, at least responding to the term president-elect, even though he has to know and his campaign has to know that's entirely inappropriate and untrue. And by the way, so does the national left-wing media. But they are doing the same thing. This looks like a full-on establishment bum's rush to get him through without even slowing down a bit. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a propaganda effort in large measure. It's one thing to have all the states go one way and, practically speaking, call the seeming winner president-elect. But when you have so many states in an unprecedented election so close and so disputed, it's unfair and it's unbalanced to call one of the candidates president-elect. It's not legally accurate, and nor is it even practically accurate.
And it's also certainly not in line with our traditions in this country, which is to make certain that phrase is never used until all disputes are resolved, until it is appropriate to do so. But this time, this election, a lot of strange things happened, and many of them highly suspicious. For example, Dominion software, and there is other software as well at play here. But this does not look, it doesn't look good, to put it mildly. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. And the question is, are the courts going to do anything about it? In Pennsylvania, there's more than enough evidence, I think, or substantial case of substantial evidence that calls into question the whole result. In my view, the Pennsylvania result, the election is irredeemably compromised. And the question is, will the courts fix it by throwing out the ballots that have been really not subject to any scrutiny and can never really be fixed? Or if the courts fail to act, will the Pennsylvania state legislature ratify what we saw go on over the last week, or will they take independent action to appoint a clean slate? Or will Congress, the Senate and the House, reject Pennsylvania electors who were placed there as a result of what looks to be systematic fraud or misconduct?
Yeah, I mean, let's be straightforward here. Tom, this has every appearance of being a fraudulent election. Fraud has been committed. What we don't know is how pervasively and how thoroughly and how many votes are involved. But it looks to be a huge number across this country. It appears to be a huge number in Pennsylvania as well. When you have poll watchers who are not permitted to observe, when you have Republican attorneys denied access, when you have a fight going on right now within the courts in Pennsylvania over 6 feet in proximity to those machines to see what was happening. I mean, this is a travesty. It is outrageous. Further, the Supreme Court, when it had an opportunity to stop this in Pennsylvania, and John Roberts decided that they would not move forward and stop this, what they knew was a disaster. He didn't want to get involved in politics effectively. And now the court has a stain that only hearing this case and making a decision that is in support of the Constitution and law. I mean, in addition, in Pennsylvania, you have courts defying appellate courts within the state without any consequence. It's outrageous. Now, what do you make of the? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the lawlessness in Pennsylvania, in my view, has fatally compromised the results there. You know what, Lou? The outrage is we still don't have results. It's almost a week after the election. Well, practically speaking, it is a week after the election. We still don't know who, quote, won in Pennsylvania. They're still counting votes past Election Day. They were supposed to figure it out, frankly, under statutory federal law, on Election Day who won. And you had several states, because of this reckless mail-in ballot scheme pushed by the left, pretend that it was okay to count ballots forever and a day after Election Day. That's not the way it's supposed to work. It suggests something's wrong is happening. And in Pennsylvania, they purposely stopped counting ballots for periods of time. Raises additional questions of fraud. The state legislature needs to step in.
They did it in a number of states.
And they did it in Georgia too.
In a number of states.
They did it in Georgia too.
Right.
Look, we've got investigations. We've got FOIAs going on in the 6 states at issue here. There's going to be an audit, either by Judicial Watch or someone else, but there's going to be an audit. And I suggest Mitch McConnell appoint a select committee immediately in the Senate so they can figure out what the Senate needs to do when this pile comes to them in January.
It is. There is much to be done, and again, you cannot help. You can't have this discussion without noting the absence of the Attorney General and the Justice Department. Its Voting Rights Division. I mean, it is stunning to see the inert institution that the Justice Department has become. Tom Fitton, thanks so much. Look forward to talking with you in the days and weeks ahead, because it will surely take on some time to reach a legal constitutional resolution to all of this.